Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome to All Things Social Security. I am Stephanie Joy, the attorney at Joy Disability. Welcome to the channel, and I hope you enjoy the video. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Stephanie Joy here with All Things Social Security. Happy Red Friday, and a big thank you to all of our deployed military members who are not at home with their families like the rest of most of us can be. This is fraud law review, of course, as always, on Friday. So the pick of the day just came out June 22nd. This is in Pennsylvania, state that I'm in. The title is Cataning Resident Sentenced for Theft of Disabled Child's Social Security Benefits. So that sounds very unpleasant. Let's see what happened here. So apparently a resident of Cataning, and I don't even know where that is. Probably near the Cataning Mountains, maybe? Jared Kohler. Wow. So it's a fellow, is my guess. 47 years old. Resident of Cataning, Pennsylvania, was sentenced in federal court to 36 months of probation. So it looks like he got no jail time, including an initial 5 months of home detention in order to pay restitution of $17,000 to the United States after his conviction of theft of public funds, according to the United States Attorney Troy Rivetti. Okay, so we're in the Western District of Pennsylvania, other side of the state from me, at least today. Otherwise, I'm in Central, but right now I'm in Northeast Pennsylvania. So apparently, Mr. Kohler was the representative payee for the disabled child, and he misused. This is a really short reading, guys. Misused the Social Security funds designated for the child after the child was placed in the custody of another person. We've talked about this before. The representative payee is the one that's supposed to handle the monies and pay the expenses of the child, starting primarily with his overhead, roof over the head, food, all those kind of things that aren't otherwise covered, um, by SNAP benefits if they exist in a particular case. But the kid isn't necessarily a poor kid, but that's the representative payee. So it's usually the custodial parent. And if custody changes to a different parent, and that's regardless of whose records are getting it on. So let's say it's a disabled child of a parent who is collecting Social Security themselves, which is why the child as a minor gets the auxiliary benefit. Whoever has custody of the child, and it might not be the disabled person themselves whose work provided this benefit to the child, but the person that's in charge of taking care of the child's day-to-day needs is going to be the one who's the representative payee, by and large. If the child does not live with a parent at all, then it's going to be a non-parent representative payee, usually whatever person's, again, caring for the child. That could feasibly be a foster parent or a relative. Doesn't matter. But when the child leaves the custody of you, if that happens, and this is not the majority of cases, I don't think, but if the child is put in the custody of someone else and you've been the one handling the monies, in this case, probably the other person didn't know that the child had these benefits coming, whoever the new custodian was. Possibly they did or figured it out, ask him to take action to cancel his representative payee-ship, and he didn't. And the money kept flowing to him that's supposed to be used for the child, and instead he's spending it on things for himself because he's not even there with the child, taking care of the child. So eventually, obviously, it came on down the pike, but it's disappointing that they leave so many details out. But in any event, he got a little spanking. I don't know if that's 36 months of probation, 5 months of home detention is sufficient. I mean, he got caught after it looks like probably about $17,000 worth of child's benefits that he has to pay back if he can. But, a lot of times the person would have continued on for, for decades if they could, and he stopped because he got caught. So I'm not sure if the fact that he got caught before he could, steal more than $17,000 from this child. And of course, the government says it's our money, meaning the government's money. I look at it actually as double fold with that because I do think it's the money for the child's expenses. But I don't know. I kind of feel like home detention is not that big of a deal. Maybe I say that because I'm a homebody, a home and office body. But I don't know. I kind of think it's got to sting a little bit. People don't like being in jail, even if it was 3 months, just something that's going to stick and remember because I think it's very easy to forget any pain associated with having to stay home. I'm curious about that. Anyway, all right, so that's it, guys. If you're a representative payee and you no longer have custody of that child and you're not sending the money to the person who does, if the representative payee ship has not changed yet, you can't keep that money. And trying to do so and spending it all for things that it's not intended for, which anything for you when you're not living with a child is almost by definition going to be the embezzlement of that kid's money. You can expect to get in trouble. I mean, he got it. And you just always have to, when you're no longer taking care of that child, you're not an appropriate representative payee vast majority of the time. All right. So, all right, guys, happy Friday. Thank you again to our deployed military members. Appreciate you every single day, even though I only do this dedication to you once a week, because that's all I do, these Friday fraud law reviews once a week. I do invite everybody to come to our live streams every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time and ask your questions. Or if you can, just say a little hello in the chat if you don't want to ask a question, just so I know you're there. And if anyone could take the time to watch the 12 p.m. dailies, that's the YouTube aspect that really supports the mission of the 1% and 5% folks that we try to help, which is usually, I would say, a highly pro bono effort. So the more help we can get, the more of those we can take. So that's our 12 p.m.s. And of course, memberships are greatly appreciated also. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great weekend. Be safe. And if you haven't noticed, I got my 250th American birthday pin on. So we have that very exciting anniversary coming up on July 4th, the 250th day of our independence. So that's really exciting to me. I hope it is for you too. And I will talk to you all later. Have a good one. God bless.